From constitutional promise to concentrated power, the presidency of Pakistan has been at the very heart of the nation's political drama. More than a ceremonial title, this office has often determined the fate of democracy, the rise of military rule, and the direction of the state itself. In this episode, we trace how the presidency evolved into a decisive force, shaping governments, altering constitutions, and influencing the course of history. From political instability and military takeovers to constitutional reforms and democratic resilience, this is the story of Pakistan's presidents and their endearing struggle between authority and accountability.
Presidents of Pakistan: Power, Politics, and the Struggle for Democracy. The office of the President of Pakistan, established with the Constitution of 1956, quickly evolved from a symbolic head of state into a dominant center of authority. Iskander Mirza, the country's first president, presided over chronic political instability, repeatedly dissolving elected governments before finally abrogating the Constitution itself in 1958. His actions paved the way for Pakistan's first military takeover under Field Marshal Muhammad Ayub Khan, whose decade-long presidency ushered in an era of centralized rule, economic modernization, and controlled democracy. While Ayub Khan's policies brought industrial growth, his regime also widened social inequalities and ignited public dissent. The transfer of power to General Yahya Khan in 1969 marked a turning point in Pakistan's history. His presidency oversaw the country's first general elections, but also the gravest national tragedy, the secession of East Pakistan in 1971. In the aftermath, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto assumed the presidency and led Pakistan towards civilian rule, restoring national confidence and introducing the landmark 1973 Constitution, which redefined the presidency into a largely ceremonial role under a parliamentary system. However, this balance was repeatedly disrupted. General Muhammad Zia-ul-Haq seized power in 1977, transforming the presidency once again into an instrument of absolute authority. His 11-year rule reshaped Pakistan's political, legal, and religious landscape through Islamization and military dominance. The subsequent democratic decade saw presidents such as Ghulam Ishaq Khan and Farooq Laghari wield constitutional powers to dismiss elected governments, perpetuating instability despite civilian leadership. The cycle repeated in 1999 when General Pervez Musharraf emerged as president following a military coup, promoting the slogan of enlightened moderation while consolidating executive power. His departure in 2008 marked a significant shift as Pakistan gradually moved toward democratic continuity. Presidents Asif Ali Zardari, Mamnoon Hussain, and Arif Alvi presided during an era where the presidency returned to its constitutional limits, symbolizing the resilience of parliamentary democracy after decades of upheaval. Together, the presidencies of Pakistan reflect an ongoing struggle between authoritarian control and democratic aspiration, a struggle that continues to define the nation's political identity. The life and legacy of Major General Iskander Ali Mirza, Pakistan's first president. Major General Iskander Ali Mirza stands as a pivotal yet controversial figure in Pakistan's early history. A man whose aristocratic lineage, military discipline, and political ambition shaped the nascent nation's turbulent beginnings. Born into privilege, but forged in the fires of colonial service and post-independence chaos, Mirza rose to become the country's first president, only to orchestrate his own downfall through authoritarian maneuvers. His tenure, marked by frequent interventions in government, reflected the fragility of Pakistan's democratic experiment in its formative years. This biography explores his journey from a British-trained officer to an exiled leader, with a focus on his presidential duration and the infamous dismissals that defined his rule. Early life and education. Iskander Ali Mirza was born on November 13, 1899, in Murshidabad, Bengal Presidency, British India, into a family steeped in historical significance. As the eldest son of Nawab Fateh Ali Mirza and Dilshad Begum, he traced his paternal roots to the Nawabs of Bengal, including the infamous Mir Jafar, whose betrayal of Siraj-ud-Dowlah during the Battle of Plassey in 1757 cemented British dominance in India. His maternal lineage connected him to the prominent Tayabji family of Cambay, known for their involvement in the Indian National Congress. This blend of aristocratic heritage and political ties would later influence his worldview, blending loyalty to empire with a pragmatic nationalism. Mirza's early education began at Elphinstone College in Bombay, now Mumbai, but he soon pivoted to a military path, enrolling at the Royal Military College, Sandhurst, in the United Kingdom. In 1920, he became the first Indian to graduate from Sandhurst, a milestone that underscored his pioneering spirit amid the racial barriers of the British Indian Army. Commissioned as a second lieutenant, Mirza's early career was a testament to his adaptability, serving in campaigns like the Waziristan operations and mastering local languages such as Pashto. Military and early political career. Mirza's military service spanned the twilight of British rule and the dawn of independence. After initial postings with the Cameronians, Scottish Rifles, he transitioned to the Indian political service in 1926, where he served as a political agent in the Northwest Frontier Province, now Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. His roles involved administering tribal areas, quelling unrest, and navigating the complex ethnic dynamics of the region, experiences that honed his authoritarian instincts. By 1946, as Joint Secretary in India's Ministry of Defense, he played a crucial role in partitioning the British Indian Army into the forces of India and Pakistan. Following Pakistan's creation in 1947, Mirza was appointed the nation's first Secretary of Defense by Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan. In this capacity, he oversaw military operations during the 1947-1948 Indo-Pakistani War and suppressed secessionist movements in Baluchistan. Promoted to Major General in 1951, he championed the elevation of native officers, including lobbying for General Muhammad Ayub Khan as the first Pakistani Commander-in-Chief of the Army. His tenure as Governor of East Bengal, now Bangladesh, in 1954 was marked by decisive action. He imposed emergency rule, dismissed the provincial government, and arrested hundreds, including future Bangladeshi leader Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, to restore order amid riots. This episode foreshadowed his preference for strongman tactics over democratic processes. By late 1954, Mirza had ascended to Minister of Interior, advocating for the controversial one-unit scheme that consolidated West Pakistan's provinces into a single administrative entity to counter East Pakistan's numerical dominance. His political maneuvering positioned him as a key player in the power struggles of Pakistan's elite. Rise to power, Governor General. In August 1955, with Governor General Malik Ghulam Muhammad's failing health, Mirza assumed the role of acting Governor General. He swiftly dismissed Ghulam Muhammad in October and forced Prime Minister Muhammad Ali Bogra to resign, appointing Chaudhry Muhammad Ali in his stead. This period solidified Mirza's control over the executive, setting the stage for Pakistan's transition from a dominion to a republic. Presidency, duration, and key events. On March 23, 1956, with the promulgation of Pakistan's first constitution, Mirza became the inaugural president of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, a ceremonial role in a parliamentary system, yet one he wielded with extraordinary influence.
His presidency lasted until October 27, 1958, a span of just over 2.5 years marked by political instability, economic challenges, and ethnic tensions between East and West Pakistan. Elected unanimously by an electoral college comprising the Awami League, Muslim League, and his newly founded Republican Party, Mirza initially enjoyed broad support. However, he viewed democracy as ill-suited to Pakistan's low literacy rate, around 15%, and frequently interfered in governance, arguing for a controlled democracy. During this time, Mirza founded the Republican Party in September 1956 to bolster his power base against the Muslim League. His administration grappled with inflation, food shortages, and provincial rivalries, but his interventions often exacerbated divisions rather than resolving them.
Dismissals of 4 prime ministers during his tenure. Mirza's presidency is notoriously remembered for his unconstitutional dismissals of 4 prime ministers in rapid succession, a pattern that undermined parliamentary authority and paved the way for military intervention. These actions stemmed from political pressures, policy disagreements, and Mirza's desire to maintain control. 1. Chaudhry Muhammad Ali, September 12, 1956. Mirza dismissed Ali, who had been carried over from the Governor-General era under pressure from his Republican Party allies in West Pakistan. Ali's Muslim League affiliation clashed with Mirza's agenda, leading to his replacement by Hussain Shahid Suhrawardi of the Awami League. 2. Hussain Shahid Suhrawardi, October 17, 1957. After a year in office, Suhrawardi was forced out amid disputes over the one-unit policy, economic management, and foreign affairs. Mirza accused him of inefficiency and interference, appointing Ibrahim Ismail Chundrigar, a Muslim League leader, in his place. 3. Ibrahim Ismail Chundrigar, December 16, 1957. Chundrigar's tenure lasted a mere 2 months, derailed by parliamentary deadlocks over electoral reforms. Mirza compelled his resignation and installed Malik Feroz Khan Noon, another Republican Party figure, as Prime Minister. 4. Malik Feroz Khan Noon, October 8, 1958. In a dramatic escalation, Mirza dismissed Noon by imposing martial law, abrogating the 1956 Constitution and dissolving the national and provincial assemblies. He justified this as necessary to prevent chaos, but it effectively ended civilian rule. These dismissals highlighted Mirza's disdain for political pluralism as he cycled through leaders to align with his vision, ultimately eroding public trust in democratic institutions. Imposition of martial law and downfall. On October 7th and 8th, 1958, Mirza declared martial law nationwide, appointing General Ayub Khan as Chief Martial Law Administrator. In a radio address, he lambasted politicians for corruption and inefficiency, promising a new constitution tailored to Pakistan's genius. However, this alliance proved short-lived. On October 27, 1958, Ayub Khan orchestrated a bloodless coup, forcing Mirza's resignation and exiling him to London. The man who had invited the military into politics was swiftly sidelined by it. Exile and death. Exiled in London, Mirza lived out his remaining years in relative obscurity and financial hardship, running a modest Pakistani hotel despite his pension from the Shah of Iran. He passed away from a heart attack on November 13, 1969, his 70th birthday, in a London hospital, unable to afford full treatment. Denied a burial in Pakistan by the military regime, his body was interred in Tehran, Iran, with honors arranged by the Shah.
Iskander Mirza's story is one of ambition unchecked by principle, a cautionary tale of how early leaders' machinations sowed the seeds for Pakistan's recurring cycles of instability. His legacy endures as a reminder of the delicate balance between authority and democracy in a young nation.
The life and legacy of Muhammad Ayub Khan, Pakistan's second president. Field Marshal Muhammad Ayub Khan remains one of the most influential and polarizing figures in Pakistan's history, a military strongman who steered the nation through a decade of rapid modernization while entrenching authoritarian rule. Rising from humble beginnings in colonial India to the pinnacle of power, Ayub's tenure as president transformed Pakistan's economy and infrastructure, but sowed seeds of discontent that led to his dramatic downfall. His story is a blend of ambition, reform, and controversy, marking the first of several military interventions in the country's politics. This biography delves into his journey with a focus on his presidential duration and the era's defining moments. Early life and education. Muhammad Ayub Khan was born on May 14, 1907, in the village of Rayana, Haripur district, in the northwest frontier province of British India, now Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan. He hailed from a Hindko-speaking Pashtun family of the Tarim tribe, the son of Mir Dad Khan, a Risaldar major in the British Indian Army's cavalry. Growing up in a modest military household, Ayub's early education took place in local schools, including one in Sarai Saleh, where he commuted by mule. He later studied at Aligarh Muslim University, a hub of Muslim intellectualism, before earning a coveted spot at the Royal Military College Sandhurst in the United Kingdom in 1926, recommended by General Andrew Skene. Fluent in Urdu, Pashto, English, and Hindko, Ayub's education instilled in him a disciplined worldview that blended British military tradition with South Asian pragmatism. Military career. Ayub's military journey began with his commissioning as a second lieutenant in the British Indian Army on February 2, 1928, joining the 1st Battalion of the 14th Punjab Regiment. He rose steadily through the ranks, serving in various capacities and earning promotions to lieutenant in 1930 and captain in 1937. During World War II, he commanded units in the Burma campaign from 1942 to 1945, achieving the rank of temporary lieutenant colonel and later major. Following the 1947 partition of India, Ayub opted for the newly formed Pakistan Army, where his career accelerated. By 1948, he was a major general commanding the 14th Infantry Division in East Pakistan, and in 1949, he served as adjutant general. On January 17, 1951, he became the first native commander-in-chief of the Pakistan Army, succeeding British General Douglas Gracey, a milestone that solidified his stature. Promoted to full general in 1957, Ayub briefly served as Minister of Defense from 1954 to 1955, under Prime Minister Muhammad Ali Bogra, gaining invaluable political exposure.
Rise to power. Ayub's transition from soldier to statesman was catalyzed by Pakistan's post-independence instability. As commander-in-chief, he supported President Iskander Mirza's declaration of martial law on October 7, 1958, against Prime Minister Feroz Khan Noon's government, citing corruption and chaos. Appointed Chief Martial Law Administrator, Ayub swiftly orchestrated a bloodless coup on October 27, 1958, ousting Mirza and exiling him to London. The Supreme Court validated the move under the doctrine of necessity. Ayub assumed the presidency the same day, marking the beginning of military dominance in Pakistani politics. He later elevated himself to Field Marshal on October 27, 1959. Presidency, duration, and key events.
Ayub Khan served as Pakistan's second president from October 27, 1958 to March 25, 1969, a tenure spanning over a decade under martial law until 1962 and then a presidential system. His rule began with the abrogation of the 1956 Constitution and the dissolution of assemblies, justified as essential for stability. In 1960, he introduced the Basic Democracies system, creating 80,000 local councils to foster grassroots governance and serve as an electoral college. A referendum among these basic Democrats confirmed his presidency, and he promulgated the 1962 Constitution, establishing a unicameral legislature and a strong executive presidency. Dubbed the Decade of Development, Ayub's era saw remarkable economic growth, averaging 6.8% GDP annually from 1960 to 1966, fueled by industrialization, foreign aid, and infrastructure projects like the Mongla and Tarbela dams, the Indus Basin Project, and the relocation of the capital to Islamabad in 1965. Agrarian reforms limited landholdings to 500 irrigated acres, redistributing surplus to tenants, while the Green Revolution boosted agriculture through fertilizers and irrigation. Social reforms included the 1961 Muslim Family Laws Ordinance, which regulated polygamy and divorce, empowering women through arbitration councils. Education expanded with new universities and curricula, and corruption was targeted through anti-bribery measures. In foreign policy, Ayub aligned Pakistan with the West via CENTO and CETO, allowing U.S. spy bases like Peshawar Air Station, leading to the 1960 U-2 incident. He forged ties with China through the 1963 border agreement and normalized relations with the Soviet Union post-1965. However, the 1965 Indo-Pakistani War over Kashmir, initiated by Operation Gibraltar, ended in a stalemate, and the Tashkent Declaration in January 1966, brokered by the Soviets, a perceived humiliation that eroded his popularity. Ayub won re-election in January 1965 against Fatima Jinnah, securing 64% of electoral votes amid rigging allegations. Yet his regime faced criticism for nepotism, elite favoritism, with 22 families controlling much of the economy, and neglect of East Pakistan, fueling ethnic tensions. Downfall and resignation. By the late 1960s, inflation, student protests, labor strikes, and the Awami League's six-point movement for East Pakistani autonomy ignited nationwide unrest. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's resignation as foreign minister in 1966 and formation of the Pakistan People's Party amplified opposition. A round-table conference failed to quell the chaos, and suffering from health issues, including a heart attack and paralysis, Ayub resigned on March 25, 1969, handing power to General Yahya Khan under renewed martial law. Later life and death. In retirement, Ayub lived quietly near Islamabad, confined to a wheelchair due to illness. He authored his autobiography, Friends Not Masters, 1967, and maintained diaries from 1966 to 1972, published posthumously in 2007. Ayub died of a heart attack on April 19, 1974, at age 66, and was buried in his native Rihana. Ayub Khan's legacy is dual-edged, hailed for propelling Pakistan into modernity through economic booms, space program inception, Suparco in 1961, and infrastructure projects, yet condemned for authoritarianism, inequality, and policies that exacerbated the East-West divide, ultimately contributing to Bangladesh's 1971 independence. His rule set a precedent for military involvement, shaping Pakistan's political landscape for generations.
The life and legacy of General Aga Muhammad Yahya Khan, Pakistan's third president. General Aga Muhammad Yahya Khan emerges as a tragic architect of division in Pakistan's history, a military leader whose brief, tumultuous rule culminated in the nation's greatest territorial loss and enduring accusations of atrocity. Ascending amid chaos and descending in defeat, Yahya's presidency encapsulated the perils of authoritarianism in a fragile federation, forever altering South Asia's geopolitical map. His story weaves threads of colonial valor, post-independence ambition, and catastrophic miscalculation, leaving a legacy shadowed by the birth of Bangladesh. Early life and education. Born on February 4, 1917 in Chakwal, Punjab, British India, present-day Pakistan, Aha Muhammad Yahya Khan hailed from a Pashtun family of Qizilbash descent, tracing roots to elite Persian warriors under Nadir Shah. His father, Sadat Ali Khan, served in the Indian Imperial Police, retiring as a deputy superintendent after handling sensitive duties, including the disposal of executed independence activists like Bhagat Singh. The family's origins lay in Peshawar, where their ancestral home dated back to 1890. Fluent in Persian from a young age, Yahya received his early education at Colonel Brown Cambridge School in Dehradun before excelling at the University of the Punjab in Lahore, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Arts as the top student in his class. This academic prowess laid the foundation for a career defined by discipline and strategic acumen. Military career. Yahya's military journey began with his commissioning into the British Indian Army from the Indian Military Academy in Dehradun on July 15, 1939, antedated to 1938, joining the 4th Battalion of the 10th Baluch Regiment. During World War II, he served in the Mediterranean theater, including North Africa, Iraq, Italy, and the Middle East, rising to the ranks of lieutenant and captain. Captured by Axis forces in June 1942, he endured imprisonment in an Italian POW camp before escaping on his 3rd attempt, a feat that underscored his resilience. Post-1947 partition, Yahya opted for the Pakistan Army, starting as a major and acting lieutenant colonel. He played a key role in establishing the Command and Staff College in Quetta and thwarted attempts by departing Indian officers to strip its resources. Promoted to brigadier at just 31, the youngest in Pakistan, he commanded the 105th Independent Brigade along the Kashmir ceasefire line from 1951 to 1952. As Vice Chief of General Staff 1954 to 1957 and Chief of General Staff 1957 to 1962, he spearheaded army modernization under President Ayub Khan. During the 1965 Indo-Pakistani War, he led the 7th Infantry Division in Operation Grand Slam, a bold thrust into Indian-administered Kashmir. He also oversaw the development of Islamabad as the new capital. In October 1966, Yahya was appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Pakistan Army, bypassing senior officers, and restructured the force by introducing new corps and procuring Chinese equipment amid a U.S. embargo. This period solidified his influence, setting the stage for political intervention.
Rise to power. By 1968-1969, widespread protests against Ayub Khan's regime, fueled by economic disparities and authoritarianism, created a vacuum that Yahya, as army chief, filled. On March 25, 1969, Ayub resigned and handed power to Yahya, who declared martial law the next day, abrogating the 1962 Constitution, dissolving assemblies, and purging corrupt officials. Assuming the roles of president and chief martial law administrator, he assembled a military-dominated cabinet and established a National Security Council to manage affairs. Yahya promised a return to civilian rule through fair elections, framing his intervention as a temporary stabilizer. Presidency, duration, and key events. Yahya Khan's presidency spanned from March 25, 1969 to December 20, 1971, a period of just over 2.5 years dominated by ethnic tensions between West and East Pakistan. He inherited a divided nation, with West Pakistan's Punjabi Pashtun Mohajir elite clashing against East Pakistan's Bengali majority. In 1970, he issued the Legal Framework Order, dismantling the one-unit scheme and restoring provincial boundaries, but delays in addressing electoral parity fueled Bengali separatism.
The 1970 general elections, hailed as Pakistan's first free polls, saw Sheikh Mujib ur-Rahman's Awam League secure a landslide in East Pakistan with 160 seats, advocating autonomy via the Six-Point Program, while Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's Pakistan People's Party dominated the West. Negotiations stalled as Yahya and Bhutto resisted transferring power to Mujib, leading to Mujib's March 7, 1971 call for sovereignty and sparking mass protests. On March 25, 1971, Yahya authorized Operation Searchlight, a brutal military crackdown to quash Bengali nationalism, resulting in the arrest of Mujib, initially sentenced to death, and widespread atrocities. This ignited the Bangladesh Liberation War, with Bengali forces forming the Mukti Bahini guerrilla army. The operation involved mass killings, rapes, and displacements, particularly targeting Hindus and intellectuals, with casualty estimates ranging from 26,000 per Pakistan's Hamudur Rahman Commission to 3 million Bangladeshi claims, and independent studies suggesting up to 269,000 civilian deaths. Yahya, alongside generals like Abdul Hamid Khan and Tika Khan, is widely regarded as a principal orchestrator of what is termed the Bangladesh genocide. The conflict escalated into the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971 when Pakistan launched preemptive strikes on December 3rd, prompting Indian intervention in support of the Mukti Bahini. Despite U.S. backing, Yahya facilitated Nixon's outreach to China. The war ended in Pakistan's surrender on December 16, 1971, leading to East Pakistan's independence as Bangladesh. Controversies abound, including Yahya's diplomatic failures, alcohol-fueled decision-making, and the regime's role in human rights abuses which drew international condemnation. Downfall and resignation. The humiliating defeat sparked nationwide outrage, protests, and coup threats in Pakistan. On December 20, 1971, Yahya resigned, transferring power to Bhutto, who promptly placed him under house arrest and released Mujib. The Hamudur Rahman Commission later critiqued the military's conduct, though its full report was suppressed until 2000. Later life and death. Detained from 1971 to 1977, Yahya testified before the commission and battled health issues, including diabetes, heart disease, and a paralyzing stroke. Released in 1977 by General Fazle Haq, he lived reclusively in Rawalpindi, penning unpublished memoirs. Yahya died of a stroke on August 10, 1980, at age 63, and was buried with full military honors in Peshawar under General Zia-ul-Haq's regime. Legacy. Yahya Khan's tenure is synonymous with Pakistan's dismemberment, vilified in Bangladesh as the face of genocide, and in Pakistan for strategic blunders that eroded national unity. Stripped of honors by Bhutto, he is nonetheless credited in U.S. circles for enabling Nixon's China diplomacy. His rule serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of military overreach in democratic transitions, casting a long shadow over Pakistan's quest for stability.
The life and legacy of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Pakistan's fourth president. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto stands as a charismatic yet contentious colossus in Pakistan's political annals, a visionary reformer whose socialist zeal propelled national development while his authoritarian streak ignited enduring divisions. Born into feudal aristocracy but championing the masses, Bhutto navigated from diplomatic prodigy to revolutionary leader, only to meet a tragic end at the gallows. His tenure as president marked a pivotal rebirth for a fractured nation post-1971 war, laying foundations for constitutional democracy and nuclear ambition. Yet his legacy remains a tapestry of triumph and turmoil, inspiring devotion in some quarters and debate in others. This biography traces his extraordinary path, with emphasis on his presidential duration and the seismic shifts he engineered. Early life and education.
Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was born on January 5, 1928 in Ratodero near Larkana in the Sindh province of British India, now Pakistan. He hailed from a prominent Rajput Muslim family of the Bhutto clan, landowners with deep roots in Sindh's feudal system. His father, Sir Shah Nawaz Bhutto, was a key political figure who served as Diwan, Prime Minister of the princely state of Junagadh, and maintained close ties with British colonial officials. Bhutto's mother, Khurshid Begum ni Laki Bai, came from a modest Hindu background before converting to Islam upon marriage. As the youngest of 4 siblings, 2 elder brothers died in infancy. Bhutto grew up amid privilege, yet his early exposure to colonial inequities fueled his nationalist leanings. His education reflected a global outlook. He attended Cathedral and John Connon School in Bombay, Mumbai, and St. Xavier's College there, immersing himself in the Pakistan movement. In 1947, he enrolled at the University of Southern California for political science, transferring to the University of California, Berkeley, where he earned a BA honors in 1950. He pursued jurisprudence at Christ Church, Oxford, obtaining an LLM and MSc honors before being called to the bar at Lincoln's Inn in 1953. Fluent in multiple languages, including English, Urdu, and Sindhi, Bhutto briefly lectured on international law at the University of Southampton, honing a sharp intellect that would define his diplomatic prowess. On a personal note, Bhutto married Shireen Amir Begum in 1943, though they separated. In 1951, he wed Nusrat Isfahani, an Iranian Kurdish aristocrat with whom he had 4 children: Benazir, future Prime Minister, Murtaza, Sanam, and Shah Nawaz.
Early political and diplomatic career. Bhutto's foray into politics began in 1957 as Pakistan's youngest delegate to the United Nations, addressing aggression and maritime law. Under President Iskander Mirza, he became the youngest cabinet minister in 1958, overseeing commerce. Aligning with Field Marshal Ayub Khan after the 1958 coup, Bhutto held portfolios like fuel, power, natural resources, and foreign affairs, 1963 to 1966. As foreign minister, he forged Pakistan's pivotal alliance with China, signing the 1963 Sino-Pakistan Boundary Agreement and advocating for Beijing's UN seat. He played a key role in the 1965 Indo-Pakistani War, pushing for Operation Gibraltar in Kashmir, and negotiated the Tashkent Declaration in 1966. Disillusioned with Ayub's perceived concessions, Bhutto resigned in 1966, criticizing the regime publicly. In November 1967, he founded the Pakistan People's Party, PPP, a left-leaning platform blending Islamic socialism, democracy, and anti-imperialism. The PPP's slogan, "Islam is our faith, democracy is our polity, socialism is our economy," resonated with workers, peasants, and intellectuals. Bhutto led mass protests against Ayub in 1968 to 1969, enduring arrests, and positioned the PPP as West Pakistan's dominant force in the 1970 elections, securing 81 seats in the National Assembly. Rise to power amid national crisis. The 1970 elections exposed Pakistan's East-West rift. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's Awam League swept East Pakistan, while Bhutto's PPP dominated the West. Deadlocked negotiations fueled Bengali separatism, culminating in President Yahya Khan's brutal Operation Searchlight in March 1971 and the Bangladesh Liberation War. Bhutto, initially supportive of military action, later distanced himself amid defeat. Following Pakistan's surrender on December 16, 1971, and Yahya's resignation on December 20th, Bhutto assumed power as president and chief martial law administrator, backed by military consent. Presidency, duration and key events. Bhutto served as Pakistan's fourth president from December 20, 1971 to August 14, 1973, a period of about 1 year and 8 months focused on reconstruction after the 1971 dismemberment. He declared emergency rule, released Mujibur Rahman in January 1972, overturning his death sentence, and recognized Bangladesh's independence in 1974. Holding multiple portfolios, including foreign affairs, defense, and interior, Bhutto nationalized key industries in January 1972 to promote Islamic socialism. He signed the Simla Agreement with India in July 1972, securing territorial concessions and the release of 93,000 Pakistani PMWs via the 1973 Delhi Agreement. Domestically, he purged the military of Yahya loyalists, appointing Lieutenant Governor Gul Hassan as army chief, later replaced, and investigating coups. Bhutto hosted the 1974 Islamic Summit in Lahore, bolstering ties with Arab nations, Iran, and China, while withdrawing from SEATO and CENTO. Crucially, he accelerated Pakistan's nuclear program, declaring in 1965 that the country would eat grass to develop a bomb. By 1972, he formalized efforts under the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission, recruiting scientists like Abdul Qadir Khan. His presidency culminated in the unanimous adoption of the 1973 Constitution on August 14th, establishing parliamentary democracy and ending martial law. Prime Ministership and reforms. Transitioning to Prime Minister on August 14, 1973, with Fazl Ilahi Chowdhury as president, Bhutto served until July 5, 1977. His administration emphasized socialist reforms, nationalizing banks in 1974, enacting land ceilings, 150 acres irrigated, and boosting agriculture through the Green Revolution. Infrastructure boomed with projects like Pakistan steel mills, Port Qasim, and the Tarbela Dam extension. Education expanded via new universities, and labor laws introduced pensions and worker participation. In foreign policy, he normalized Soviet relations and supported Palestinian causes. However, controversies mounted. Bhutto suppressed Baloch separatism with military operations, 1973 to 1977, aided by Iran, and faced accusations of rigging the 1977 elections. Rigging allegations sparked protests by the Pakistan National Alliance, leading to violence and a deadlock. On July 5, 1977, General Muhammad Zia-ul-Haq staged Operation Fair Play, deposing Bhutto in a bloodless coup. Arrested on murder charges related to politician Ahmed Raza Kasuri's father, Bhutto endured a controversial trial in Lahore High Court, convicted in March 1978. The Supreme Court upheld the death sentence 4-3 in February 1979, despite international pleas. He was executed by hanging on April 4, 1979, at Rawalpindi's Central Jail, aged 51. In 2024, Pakistan's Supreme Court posthumously declared the trial unfair. Legacy. Bhutto is revered as the Qaid-e-Awam, people's leader, for authoring the 1973 Constitution, initiating nuclear deterrence, earning the moniker Father of the Nuclear Bomb, and empowering the marginalized through reforms that reduced poverty. His PPP endures as a major force, with daughter Benazir and grandson Bilal continuing the dynasty. Yet, critics decry his authoritarianism, economic mismanagement, and role in ethnic conflicts. Posthumously awarded the Nishan-e-Pakistan in 2024, Bhutto's life embodies Pakistan's quest for progress amid perennial instability.
The life and legacy of Fazl Ilahi Chowdhury, Pakistan's fifth president. Fazl Ilahi Chowdhury, often remembered as a dignified yet subdued figure in Pakistan's political theater, served as a bridge between the nation's turbulent democratic experiments and its recurring military interventions.
As the fifth president, he presided over a period of constitutional restoration and socialist reforms under Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, only to step aside amid the shadows of authoritarianism. Born into a modest agrarian background, but rising through legal and political acumen, Chowdhury's career exemplified the quiet resilience of Pakistan's early statesmen. His presidency, though largely ceremonial, symbolized stability in a fractured era, leaving a legacy of institutional loyalty amid personal restraint. This biography explores his journey from rural Punjab to the presidency, highlighting his tenure's duration and pivotal moments. Early life and education. Fazl Ilahi Chowdhury was born on January 1, 1904, in the village of Marala, near Karian in the Gujarat district of Punjab, British India, now Pakistan. He belonged to an influential Gujar family with roots in agriculture and local governance, fostering in him a grounded perspective on rural issues. Chowdhury's early education laid a strong foundation. He completed his Bachelor of Arts from Aligarh Muslim University in 1925, an institution renowned for nurturing Muslim intellectuals during the colonial era. Pursuing law, he earned his LLB from Punjab University in Lahore in 1927, equipping him with the tools to navigate both legal and political landscapes. This academic journey not only honed his analytical skills, but also immersed him in the burgeoning independence movement. Legal and early political career. After completing his studies, Chowdhury established a successful legal practice in Gujarat, where he built a reputation as a barrister advocating for local causes. His entry into politics was marked by his affiliation with the All India Muslim League in 1942, aligning with Muhammad Ali Jinnah's vision for a separate Muslim state. During the 1945-46 elections, he campaigned vigorously for the League, contributing to its landslide victory in Punjab. Following Pakistan's independence in 1947, Chowdhury's political ascent began in earnest. He was elected to the Punjab Legislative Assembly in 1951 as a Muslim League representative. Over the next decade, he held various provincial ministerial positions, including education, industries, and information, where he focused on development initiatives in his home region. In 1956, he transitioned to the national stage, joining the West Pakistan Legislative Assembly. His moderate stance and administrative experience earned him the role of parliamentary secretary to Prime Minister Suhrawardy. Chowdhury's career took a significant turn when he defected from the Muslim League to join Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's Pakistan People's Party, or PPP, in 1967, drawn to its progressive agenda. This move positioned him as a key ally in the PPP's rise. Elected to the National Assembly in 1970, he served as its deputy speaker from March to August 1972, and then as Speaker from March to August 1972.
Rise to the presidency. The 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War and subsequent dismemberment of Pakistan created a power vacuum that Bhutto filled as president. With the adoption of the 1973 Constitution, which established a parliamentary system, Bhutto transitioned to Prime Minister, paving the way for Chowdhury's elevation. On August 10, 1973, Chowdhury was unanimously elected by the National Assembly as the fifth president of Pakistan, assuming office on August 14, 1973. He was the first president under the new constitution, which significantly reduced the office's powers, rendering it largely ceremonial. Presidency, duration, and key events. Fazl Ilahi Chowdhury's presidency lasted from August 14, 1973 to September 16, 1978, a duration of 5 years and 33 days. During this time, he served as a figurehead while Bhutto wielded executive authority as Prime Minister.
Chowdhury's role involved assenting to legislation, representing Pakistan internationally, and maintaining constitutional decorum amid Bhutto's ambitious reforms, including nationalizations and land redistribution. Key events included his oversight of the 1974 Islamic Summit Conference in Lahore, which bolstered Pakistan's ties with the Muslim world. He also navigated domestic unrest, such as the Balochistan insurgency, by supporting federal policies while advocating for dialogue. Chowdhury's presidency witnessed the 1977 general elections, marred by allegations of rigging, which sparked nationwide protests led by the Pakistan National Alliance. On July 5, 1977, General Mohammad Zia-ul-Haq staged a military coup, deposing Bhutto and imposing martial law. Chowdhury remained in office initially, lending a veneer of legitimacy to the regime, but resigned on September 16, 1978, citing health reasons and paving the way for Zia to assume the presidency. His decision to step down without resistance underscored his commitment to avoiding further instability. Later life and death. Post-presidency, Chowdhury retired to private life in Gujarat, distancing himself from active politics amid Zia's authoritarian rule. He focused on family and community affairs until his death from a heart attack on June 2, 1982, at the age of 78. Buried in his ancestral village, his passing was mourned as the loss of a stabilizing elder statesman. Legacy. Fazl Ilahi Chowdhury's legacy is one of quiet service in an era of charismatic leaders and military strongmen. As the longest-serving president under the 1973 Constitution until his resignation, he embodied the ceremonial essence of the office, prioritizing national unity over personal power. Critics view him as overly compliant with Bhutto and Zia, but admirers praise his role in constitutional continuity. Today, he is remembered as a symbol of Pakistan's democratic aspirations, however fleeting, in its formative decades.
The life and legacy of General Mohammad Zia-ul-Haq, Pakistan's sixth president. In the annals of Pakistan's turbulent political history, General Mohammad Zia-ul-Haq emerges as a formidable and divisive figure, a devout military leader whose iron-fisted rule reshaped the nation's identity through Islamization while entrenching authoritarianism. As the sixth president of Pakistan, Zia held office from September 16, 1978, until his untimely death on August 17, 1988, a decade marked by martial law, economic reforms, and pivotal Cold War alliances. Rising from modest beginnings to orchestrate a coup that toppled a democratically elected government, Zia's biography is a narrative of ambition, religious fervor, and strategic pragmatism, leaving an indelible imprint on Pakistan's socio-political fabric. Early life and family roots. Mohammad Zia-ul-Haq was born on August 12, 1924, in Jalandhar, Punjab province, British India, now in India, into a middle-class Aryan family known for its religious piety. His father, Muhammad Akbar Ali, was a Maulvi, an Islamic scholar, who worked as a staff clerk at the British Indian Army's general headquarters in Delhi and Shimla, instilling in young Zia a deep reverence for Islam and discipline. The second of 5 children, Zia grew up in a devout household, where Quranic teachings formed the cornerstone of his upbringing. He completed his early education at a local school in Shimla and later excelled at St. Stephen's College in Delhi, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in History in 1943. This academic foundation, combined with his father's military connections, steered him toward a career in the armed forces amid the waning days of British colonial rule. Military career, from wartime service to command. Zia's military journey began in 1943 when he enrolled at the Indian Military Academy in Dehradun, commissioning as a second lieutenant in the 13th Lancers Cavalry Regiment in May 1945, just months before World War II's end.
He saw action in the Burma and Malaya campaigns against Japanese forces, and later in the Indonesian National Revolution, including the Battle of Surabaya in 1945. Following the 1947 partition of India, Zia opted for the Pakistan Army, joining the Guides Cavalry and playing a role in escorting refugees amid communal violence. His career progressed steadily. He served as an aide-de-camp and attended the U.S. Army Command and Staff College at Fort Leavenworth from 1962 to 1964, where he honed his strategic skills. During the 1965 Indo-Pakistani War, he acted as quartermaster for the 101st Infantry Brigade. A pivotal assignment came from 1967 to 1970 as head of a Pakistani training mission in Jordan, where he advised King Hussein during the Black September conflict, reportedly leading Jordanian forces against Palestinian militants and earning royal commendations. Promoted to brigadier in 1969 and major general in 1972, Zia commanded the 2nd Strike Corps in Multan by 1975. In a surprising move, Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto appointed him Chief of Army Staff on March 1, 1976, bypassing 7 senior generals, likely due to Zia's perceived loyalty and non-Punjabi Orion background.
The 1977 coup, seizing power. Zia's ascent to absolute power unfolded amid political chaos following the 1977 general elections, where Bhutto's Pakistan People's Party, PPP, was accused of rigging by the opposition Pakistan National Alliance, PNA. Widespread protests and violence prompted Zia to launch Operation Fair Play on July 5, 1977, a bloodless military coup that deposed Bhutto, imposed martial law, suspended the 1973 Constitution, and dissolved assemblies. As Chief Martial Law Administrator, CMLA, Zia promised elections within 90 days, but repeatedly postponed them, citing the need for positive results. Bhutto was arrested, tried for authorizing a 1974 political murder, convicted in 1978, and executed on April 4, 1979, despite global appeals, a decision upheld by the Supreme Court under the doctrine of necessity. Zia consolidated control by appointing military governors and purging disloyal elements from the armed forces. Presidency, Islamization, reforms, and authoritarianism. Assuming the presidency on September 16, 1978, after President Fazal Ilahi Chowdhury's resignation, Zia ruled under martial law until 1985. He banned political parties in 1979 and established the Majlis-e-Shura, a consultative body of nominated members to legitimize his regime. A controversial 1984 referendum claiming 98% approval on his Islamization policies extended his term for 5 years. Non-partisan elections in 1985 led to Mohammad Khan Junjo's appointment as prime minister, but Zia retained veto power via the 8th Amendment to the Constitution. Tensions culminated in Junjo's dismissal on May 29, 1988, over policy disputes, including the Odri camp disaster and Geneva Accords on Afghanistan. Zia's hallmark was Islamization under Nizam-e-Mustafa, system of the Prophet, aiming to align Pakistan with Sharia law. Key ordinances included the 1979 Hudud laws, imposing Islamic punishments for crimes like adultery, zina, and theft, often criticized for victimizing women in rape cases. The 1980 Zakat and Ushur Ordinance mandated wealth taxes for poverty alleviation, while blasphemy laws were stiffened, leading to persecution of minorities like Ahmadis. Madrasas proliferated from 893 to over 2,800, fostering conservative ideologies. Economically, his regime achieved 6.8% annual GNP growth through remittances $3.2 billion annually and partial denationalization, though inequality persisted. Zia accelerated Pakistan's nuclear program, conducting a cold test in 1983 and advancing missile development. In foreign affairs, Zia positioned Pakistan as a frontline state against the 1979 Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, channeling U.S. aid $3.2 billion to Mujahideen via Operation Cyclone in partnership with the CIA and Saudi Arabia. He balanced relations with Iran and Iraq during their war, strengthened ties with China and the West, and promoted nuclear proliferation to allies like North Korea. Death and mysterious circumstances. Zia's life ended abruptly on August 17, 1988, when his C-130 Hercules aircraft crashed near Bawalpur, killing him and 29 others, including top generals, the U.S. ambassador, and a military attaché. Investigations pointed to sabotage, possibly involving poisonous gases, but no conclusive evidence emerged amid conspiracy theories implicating foreign powers or internal rivals. His state funeral drew over 1 million mourners, and he was buried at Faisal Mosque in Islamabad. Legacy: a polarizing architect of modern Pakistan. Zia's legacy, often termed Ziaism, endures as a blend of economic progress, nuclear deterrence, and the defeat of the Soviet forces in Afghanistan, which contributed to the Cold War's end. However, he is widely critiqued for suppressing democracy, fostering sectarianism, and enacting laws that marginalized women and minorities, sowing seeds for extremism and military dominance in politics. The 2010 18th Amendment stripped his constitutional changes, but his influence lingers in Pakistan's conservative societal shifts and ongoing debates over his authoritarian rule.
The life and legacy of Ghulam Ishaq Khan, Pakistan's 7th president. Ghulam Ishaq Khan, often remembered as a stoic bureaucrat who wielded immense influence over Pakistan's economic and nuclear policies, served as the 7th president of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan from August 17, 1988 to July 18, 1993, a tenure of nearly 5 years defined by political turbulence, economic stewardship, and a firm grip on the nation's nascent nuclear ambitions. Rising from humble rural origins to become a key architect of Pakistan's administrative and strategic framework, Khan's biography is a testament to the enduring role of civil servants in shaping the country's destiny. Though his presidency was marked by controversial dismissals of elected governments, he is also credited with fostering technological education and maintaining fiscal discipline amid regional upheavals. Early life and family background. Born on January 20, 1915, in the remote village of Ismail Khail on the outskirts of Banu district in the northwest frontier province, now Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan, Ghulam Ishaq Khan grew up in a modest Pashtun family of the Bangash tribe. His early years were steeped in the rugged traditions of the frontier region, where tribal loyalties and resilience were paramount. Khan's family maintained a strong political presence in later generations, with relatives including his son-in-law Anwar Saifullah Khan, a former federal minister, another son-in-law, Irfanullah Khan Warwat, a former Sindh provincial minister and advisor, and granddaughters connected to prominent political figures like Haroon Baloor of the Awami National Party and Omar Ayub Khan, grandson of former President Ayub Khan. This network underscored Khan's deep-rooted ties to Pakistan's elite circles, even as his own path was forged through merit and service rather than inherited privilege. Education and entry into public service. Khan's education journey began in local schools in Banu, followed by enrollment at Islamia College.
He later transferred to the University of Peshawar, where he earned a double Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry and botany. Aspiring initially for an academic career, Khan pivoted to the prestigious Indian Civil Service in 1941, serving in various provincial roles under British rule. Following the partition of India in 1947, he opted for service in the newly independent Pakistan, joining the Northwest Frontier Province as Secretary of the Irrigation Department, a position he held until 1955. This early focus on infrastructure and resource management laid the groundwork for his lifelong emphasis on development projects.
Ascending the bureaucratic ladder, key career milestones. Khan's career was a masterclass in administrative acumen, spanning decades of pivotal roles that influenced Pakistan's economic and security landscape. Provincial and early federal roles, 1956 to 1961. In 1956, he was appointed Home Secretary in the Sindh government, later overseeing the Department of Development and Irrigation. By 1958, under President Ayub Khan, he joined the Federal Ministry of Agriculture Secretariat and served on the Board of Governors of the Water and Power Development Authority, WAPDA, rising to chairman in 1961. In this capacity, he spearheaded the construction and financing of major hydroelectric projects like the Mangla and Warsak dams, which were crucial for Pakistan's energy independence and agricultural growth. Finance and Economic Stewardship, 1966 to 1970. Khan managed the national economy post the 1965 Indo-Pakistani War, administering retail and commercial services. In 1971, Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto named him governor of the State Bank of Pakistan, where he formulated monetary policies amid Bhutto's socialist reforms. Though he privately questioned aspects of nationalization, Khan implemented credit policies that supported industrial expansion. Defense and nuclear contributions, 1975 to 1977. Transferred to the Ministry of Defense as secretary in 1975, Khan played a clandestine yet critical role in Pakistan's atomic bomb program. He managed funding, established the engineering research laboratories in Kahuta, and headed the Uranium Coordination Board. Dubbed Mr. Nuke by U.S. diplomats and Baba Atom Bomb by local media, he consolidated efforts under figures like Lieutenant General Zahid Ali Akbar and supported nuclear scientist Abdul Qadir Khan, securing the program's viability amid international scrutiny. Ministerial and Senate leadership, 1977 to 1988. Following General Zia-ul-Haq's 1977 coup, Khan was elevated to Minister of Finance, Revenue, and Economic Affairs, overseeing unprecedented GDP growth through private sector incentives, economic Islamization, including risk-free interest rates, and corporatization of state enterprises. He granted tax-free status to the Bank of Credit and Commerce International, BCCI, and attended the 1983 Kirana 1 cold fission test. Elected Senate chairman in 1985 as an independent, he served until 1988, announcing Zia's death in a plane crash and assuming acting presidency per constitutional protocol. Presidency, a period of stability and strife. Khan's presidency began on August 17, 1988, as acting president following Zia-ul-Haq's fatal plane crash, transitioning to full presidency on December 12, 1988, after securing 608 electoral votes as a consensus candidate backed by the Islami Jamhuri Ittihad and Pakistani People's Party. At 73, he became the oldest person to assume the office. His term was characterized by hawkish foreign policy against communist Afghanistan, strained U.S. relations due to the Pressler Amendment, which halted aid over nuclear concerns, and domestic challenges like ethnic riots in Karachi and economic slowdowns, including a 30% devaluation of the rupee.
Key events included vetoing several judicial and military appointments proposed by Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, leading to her government's dismissal in 1990 on charges of corruption and misgovernance under the Eighth Amendment. Nawaz Sharif succeeded her, but faced similar fate in 1993, with Khan invoking the same powers amid allegations of nepotism and economic mismanagement. Khan fiercely guarded the nuclear program, rejecting Bhutto's overtures to scientists and maintaining its secrecy. His administration navigated the post-Soviet withdrawal from Afghanistan, dealing with refugee influxes and law and order issues. Resignation and later years. The 1993 dismissal of Sharif's government sparked a constitutional crisis when the Supreme Court deemed it illegal and reinstated Sharif. Amid escalating deadlock, joint pressure from the judiciary and military compelled both Khan and Sharif to resign on July 18, 1993. Retiring from active politics, Khan focused on philanthropy, founding the Ghulam Ishaq Khan Institute of Engineering, Sciences and Technology in 1988 with BCCI funding. He invited luminaries like Abdul Qadir Khan and mathematician Oscar Qadir to its faculty, establishing it as a premier institution for science and engineering. Khan briefly considered a 1993 presidential run, but withdrew in favor of Farooq Lagari, thereafter shunning media and public life. Death and enduring legacy. Ghulam Ishaq Khan passed away on October 27, 1996, at the age of 91 from complications of pneumonia in Peshawar. He was laid to rest at Pawaka Graveyard in University Town, Peshawar, leaving behind a legacy of personal austerity and institutional building. Historians laud his contributions to Pakistan's nuclear deterrence, economic reforms, and infrastructure development, yet criticize his autocratic style for undermining democracy through the dismissal of 2 elected governments. As the founder of GIKI, he is remembered for advancing technological education, though his tenure exemplifies the fragile balance between bureaucratic authority and democratic governance in Pakistan's history.
The life and legacy of Wasim Sajjad, Pakistan's twice acting president. In the intricate tapestry of Pakistan's political history, Wasim Sajjad stands out as a steadfast conservative figure, a lawyer, senator, and interim leader whose brief but pivotal stints as acting president bridged critical transitions in the nation's governance. Often regarded as the 8th and 10th president in enumerations that include acting heads of state, Sajjad served in this capacity twice, first from July 18, 1993 to November 14, 1993, approximately 4 months, and second from December 2, 1997 to January 1, 1998, about 1 month. These non-consecutive terms, totaling just over 5 months, occurred amid resignations and electoral processes, underscoring his role as a stabilizing force during periods of uncertainty. A Rhodes Scholar with a distinguished legal background, Sajjad's biography reflects a career dedicated to public service, from ministerial posts to Senate leadership, leaving a legacy of institutional continuity and educational advocacy. Early life and family heritage. Wasim Sajjad Jan was born on March 30, 1941, in Jalandhar, Punjab province of British India, now in Punjab, India, into a family with a strong judicial tradition. His father, the late Justice Sajjad Ahmad Jan, was a prominent jurist who served on the Supreme Court of Pakistan and later as the Chief Election Commissioner, instilling in young Wasim a profound respect for law and governance. Growing up in the waning years of colonial rule, Wasim's early environment blended cultural roots with the aspirations of a newly emerging nation following the 1947 partition. This foundation shaped his conservative outlook, emphasizing stability and institutional integrity in Pakistan's evolving political landscape. Education, from local roots to Oxford excellence. Sajjad's educational path began at Army Burn Hall College in Abbottabad,
where he honed his academic skills before relocating to Lahore for higher studies. He pursued a degree in law at the University of the Punjab, laying the groundwork for his legal career. Demonstrating exceptional promise, he was awarded a Rhodes Scholarship, enabling him to study at Wadham College, Oxford University in England. There, he earned a Bachelor of Civil Law, BCL, and a graduate degree in jurisprudence in 1967. Called to the bar at the Inner Temple in 1968, Sajjad returned to Pakistan as an advocate, teaching constitutional law at Punjab Law College, a constituent of the University of Punjab, from 1967 to 1977. His scholarly pursuits not only equipped him with expertise in jurisprudence, but also fostered a deep understanding of constitutional frameworks, which would prove invaluable in his political endeavors.
Entry into politics and ministerial roles. Sajjad's foray into national politics commenced in 1985 when he was elected to the Senate of Pakistan as a member of the center-right Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz faction, PMLN. His legal acumen quickly propelled him into government, serving as Federal Minister for Law, Justice, and Parliamentary Affairs from September 20, 1986 to December 4, 1988, under President Muhammad Zia-ul Haq and Prime Minister Mohammad Khan Junjeo. During this period, he also briefly held the portfolio of Interior Minister from March 29, 1987 to July 28, 1987, overseeing internal security and administrative affairs. These roles highlighted his ability to navigate complex policy issues, from legal reforms to maintaining law and order in a politically volatile era. Senate leadership and acting presidencies. Elected Chairman of the Senate on December 24, 1988, a position he held until October 12, 1999, Sajjad became a cornerstone of Pakistan's upper house, guiding legislative processes through turbulent times. As Senate Chairman, he was constitutionally positioned to assume the presidency in the event of a vacancy, a role he fulfilled twice with poise and adherence to protocol. First acting presidency, July 18, 1993 to November 14, 1993. Following the resignation of President Ghulam Ishaq Khan amid a constitutional crisis and political deadlock with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, Sajjad stepped in as acting president. His tenure coincided with the caretaker government of Moinuddin Ahmed Qureshi, who managed interim affairs until general elections. Sajjad's steady hand ensured a smooth transition, culminating in the election of Farooq Lagari as president and Benazir Bhutto's return as prime minister. This period, lasting nearly 4 months, was marked by efforts to restore democratic processes amid economic and political instability. Second acting presidency, December 2, 1997 to January 1, 1998. Sajjad assumed the role again after President Farooq Lagari's abrupt resignation, triggered by conflicts with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif over judicial appointments and military matters. Serving for about 1 month under Sharif's administration, Sajjad oversaw the interim period until Mohammad Rafiq Tarar was elected and sworn in as president. This shorter stint emphasized his role in maintaining constitutional continuity during another moment of executive flux. Throughout his Senate tenure, Sajjad affiliated with groups like the Islami Jamhuri Ittihad and PMLN, demonstrating adaptability in Pakistan's factional politics. Later career and affiliations. In the wake of General Pervez Musharraf's military coup, Sajjad joined a defecting faction and aligned with the Pakistan Muslim League, Quaid-e-Azam, PMLQ, a pro-Musharraf party. He served as leader of the House in the Senate from March 2003 to March 2008, advocating for government policies, and later as leader of the opposition from 2010 to 2012, critiquing the ruling coalition.
His Senate terms extended from March 2006 to March 2012, reflecting his enduring influence in legislative circles. Sajjad retired from active politics around 2012, though he faced a 2002 accusation of misusing government resources, resulting in a fine but no imprisonment. Beyond politics, contributions to education and sports. Post-retirement, Sajjad channeled his energies into education and institutional development. He has served as chairman of the Foundation for Advancement of Science and Technology, FAST, and as chancellor of the National University of Computer and Emerging Sciences, FAST-NU, promoting advancements in STEM fields and fostering innovation among Pakistan's youth. Earlier, in 1989, he briefly acted as interim president of the Pakistan Football Federation, contributing to sports administration during a transitional phase. Personal life and legacy. Residing in Islamabad, Sajjad maintains a low-profile life focused on family and philanthropy. His legacy is one of quiet competence, a bridge builder in times of crisis, whose acting presidencies preserved democratic transitions without overreach. While critics note his alignment with military-backed regimes, admirers praise his legal expertise and commitment to education. In a nation often defined by charismatic leaders, Wasim Sajjad exemplifies the understated power of institutional guardians, ensuring stability amid the ebb and flow of Pakistani politics.
The life and legacy of Farooq Ligari, Pakistan's 9th president. In the volatile arena of Pakistani politics, Sardar Farooq Ahmed Khan Ligari emerged as a principled yet polarizing figure, a tribal chieftain turned statesman whose presidency navigated the treacherous waters of corruption allegations, judicial crises, and democratic fragility. As the 9th president of Pakistan, counting interim terms, Ligari served from November 14, 1993 to December 2, 1997, a tenure of just over 4 years that culminated in his dramatic resignation amid escalating conflicts with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. Hailing from a powerful Baloch tribal lineage, Ligari's biography is a compelling narrative of elite education, bureaucratic service, political maneuvering, and a commitment to infrastructure development, overshadowed by controversies that underscored the tensions between executive authority and parliamentary democracy in a young republic. Early life and tribal roots. Farooq Ahmed Khan Ligari was born on May 29, 1940 in the rural village of Choti Zareen, nestled in the Dera Ghazi Khan district of Punjab province, Pakistan. As the scion of the influential Ligari tribe, a Saraiki-speaking Baloch group with deep historical ties to the region, Ligari grew up amid the feudal traditions of southern Punjab. His family controlled vast tracts of land, approximately 2,500 acres, and wielded significant authority as tribal chiefs, resolving disputes and managing local affairs in an area marked by socio-economic challenges. His father, Sardar Muhammad Khan Ligari, was a seasoned politician who secured multiple electoral victories and held ministerial posts, perpetuating a legacy of public service that traced back to pre-partition India. Ligari's grandfather, Nawab Muhammad Jamal Khan Ligari, similarly served in government roles, embedding the young Farooq in a network of political influence and tribal loyalty from an early age. Education, forging a scholarly foundation. Farooq's academic journey reflected his family's aspirations for excellence. He attended the prestigious Aitchison College in Lahore, where he excelled as head boy and was honored as the best leaving student upon graduating in 1957. Continuing his studies at Foreman Christian College in Lahore, he earned a Bachelor of Arts with honors in economics in 1960. Seeking broader horizons, Ligari pursued advanced education abroad, obtaining a Master of Arts in Philosophy, Politics and Economics, PPE,
at St. Catherine's College at Oxford University in 1963. This elite education not only sharpened his analytical skills, but also exposed him to global perspectives on governance and economics, preparing him for a career that would blend administrative rigor with political ambition. Early career, from civil service to political entry. Ligari's professional path began in the bureaucracy after he successfully cleared the competitive civil services examination in 1964, joining the Pakistan Civil Service. He held key administrative positions, such as Commissioner of Sargodha Division, and various roles in East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, until around 1970. Resigning in 1973 at the invitation of Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Ligari transitioned to politics by aligning with the Pakistan People's Party. He started as Joint Secretary for the PPP's Dera Ghazi Khan District chapter, quickly rising to Finance Secretary of the party's Punjab branch. Elected to the Senate in 1975 as a PPP representative, he secured a National Assembly seat from NA 158, Dera Ghazi Khan III, in the 1977 elections, and briefly served as Federal Minister for Industries before General Zia-ul-Haq's military coup in July 1977 disrupted civilian rule. During Zia's martial law era, 1977 to 1985, Ligari actively participated in the movement for the restoration of democracy, advocating for civilian governance. In the non-partisan 1985 elections, Ligari won seats in both the Punjab Provincial Assembly and National Assembly, overcoming family rivals, including an uncle and aunt. Although his bid for Punjab Chief Minister fell short, he continued to build his profile. In the 1988 elections, he claimed a National Assembly seat from NA 133, Dera Ghazi Khan II, with a record vote count, and was appointed Federal Minister for Water and Power. In this role, Ligari championed rural electrification in southern Punjab, oversaw the remodeling of the Tounsa Barrage for enhanced irrigation, and greenlit infrastructure projects such as the Dera Ghazi Khan Airport, bridges, tube wells, water tanks, and a 500-bed hospital. He retained his seat in 1990 and 1993, serving briefly as foreign minister in caretaker and PPP-led governments.
Presidency, a tenure of triumphs and turmoil. Nominated by Benazir Bhutto's PPP amid political instability following President Ghulam Ishaq Khan's resignation, Ligari won the presidential election on November 13, 1993, defeating Wasim Sajjad with 274 electoral votes to 168. Sworn in the next day for a 5-year term under the 1973 Constitution, he became the first Baloch origin president, symbolizing ethnic representation in national leadership. His presidency reached a watershed on November 5, 1996, when he invoked Article 58(2)(b) to dismiss Bhutto's second government, citing rampant corruption, economic mismanagement, nepotism, national security threats, the extrajudicial killing of Mir Murtaza Bhutto, illegal wiretapping, custodial deaths, and judicial defiance. Appointing Malik Miraj Khalid as caretaker prime minister, Ligari scheduled elections within 90 days. The Supreme Court upheld his action on January 29, 1997. However, relations with incoming Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif soured after Sharif's 1997 victory. Sharif's 13th Amendment stripped presidential powers to dissolve parliament and appoint military chiefs, which Ligari reluctantly assented to in April 1997. Conflicts escalated over judicial appointments, Sharif's anti-terrorism ordinance, and constitutional amendments curbing executive authority. Ligari backed Chief Justice Sajjad Ali Shah against Sharif, sparking a crisis that led to his suspension and impeachment threats against Ligari. To avert further instability, Ligari resigned on December 2, 1997, citing irreconcilable differences and his unsuccessful efforts to uphold the rule of law. Later life and political ventures. Disavowed by the PPP for ousting Bhutto, Ligari founded the centrist Milat Party on August 14, 1998 in Lahore, advocating national unity, economic reform, and anti-corruption measures. Attracting bureaucrats and intellectuals like Javed Jabbar, the party formed alliances and won 13 National Assembly seats in the 2002 elections, Milat securing 8. Laghari himself triumphed from NA 159 Dera Ghazi Khan III and aligned with the pro-Musharraf PMLQ coalition. The Milat party merged with PMLQ on May 18, 2004, amid internal divisions. Death and family legacy. Laghari battled chronic heart issues, receiving treatment at the Armed Forces Institute of Cardiology. His health declined in mid-October 2010, leading to hospitalization at the Combined Military Hospital in Rawalpindi, where he succumbed to heart disease on October 20, 2010, at 70 years old. His family continues the political tradition. Son Sardar Awais Ahmed Khan Laghari, born March 22, 1971, has served multiple National Assembly terms from Dera Ghazi Khan, held ministerial roles in information technology and energy, and currently advises Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Another son, Jamal Laghari, inherited the tribal chieftaincy as the 27th Sardar of the Laghari tribe. Legacy, a complex figure in Pakistan's democracy. Farooq Laghari's legacy is multifaceted, lauded for infrastructure advancements and judicial advocacy, yet criticized for undermining democracy through Bhutto's dismissal and facing unproven allegations of financial impropriety from Mehran Bank. His actions highlighted the Eighth Amendment's pitfalls, contributing to ongoing debates on executive overreach. As a bridge between tribal heritage and modern governance, Laghari remains a symbol of Pakistan's enduring struggle for balanced power.
The life and legacy of Mohammad Rafiq Tarar, Pakistan's 11th president. In the ever-shifting landscape of Pakistani politics, Mohammad Rafiq Tarar stands as a symbol of judicial integrity and quiet resilience. A jurist elevated to the presidency during a period of democratic revival, only to witness its unraveling under military intervention. As the 11th president of Pakistan, including acting terms in official enumerations, Tarar served from January 1, 1998 to June 20, 2001, a tenure of approximately 3 years and 5 months that coincided with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's second term and the subsequent 1999 military coup led by General Pervez Musharraf. Born into a modest rural family, yet ascending to the highest echelons of the judiciary and executive, Tarar's biography is a narrative of legal excellence, political alliances, and the challenges of maintaining constitutional authority in a nation prone to power struggles. His presidency, largely ceremonial after constitutional amendments, highlighted the fragility of civilian governance in Pakistan. Early life and family background. Mohammad Rafiq Tarar was born on November 2, 1929, in the small village of Pir Kot, located in Gakar Mandi within Wazirabad Tehsil, Gujranwala district, Gujranwala province, British India, now Pakistan. He hailed from a middle-class Muslim family belonging to the Tarar clan, a community known for its agricultural roots and emphasis on education. His father, Chaudhry Ghulam Rasul Tarar, was a local landowner and farmer, instilling in young Rafiq values of discipline, piety, and community service. Growing up in a rural setting amid the final years of colonial rule, Tarar experienced the socio-economic realities of pre-partition Punjab, which shaped his grounded perspective on justice and governance. His family migrated to Pakistan following the 1947 independence, settling in Lahore, where Tarar would later build his professional life. Education and legal foundations. Tarar's academic journey began in local schools in Gakar Mandi, where he demonstrated early aptitude in studies.
He pursued higher education at Islamia College in Gujranwala and later at Government College University in Lahore, earning a Bachelor of Arts degree. Driven by a passion for law, he enrolled at the University of the Punjab, obtaining his Bachelor of Laws in 1951. Tarar further honed his legal skills through practical training, qualifying as a barrister and beginning his practice in Lahore. His education emphasized constitutional law and jurisprudence, equipping him with the tools to navigate Pakistani's complex legal system. This scholarly foundation, combined with his devout Muslim faith, influenced his lifelong commitment to ethical jurisprudence. Judicial career, a pillar of the bench. Tarar's professional ascent was marked by a distinguished judicial career spanning over 30 decades. He started as a pleader in Gujranwala in 1951 before advancing to an advocate at the Lahore High Court in 1955. By 1966, he had become an advocate of the Supreme Court of Pakistan. His reputation for impartiality and legal acumen led to his appointment as a judge of the Lahore High Court in 1974, where he served with distinction. In 1989, he was elevated to the Supreme Court of Pakistan, and in March 1991, he assumed the role of Chief Justice of the Lahore High Court, a position he held until his retirement in November 1994. Throughout his tenure, Tarar presided over landmark cases involving constitutional matters, human rights, and administrative law. He earned accolades for his integrity, particularly during politically charged periods, and was known for his conservative yet fair interpretations of Islamic jurisprudence. His judicial service under various regimes, from democratic governments to martial law eras, demonstrated his adaptability and commitment to the rule of law, even as he navigated pressures from executive influences.
Political entry and path to the presidency. Retiring from the judiciary in 1994, Tarar entered politics by aligning with the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, PMLN, drawn to its center-right ideology and emphasis on economic development. In the 1997 general elections, he was elected to the Senate from Punjab on a PMLN ticket, marking his formal debut in legislative affairs. His close ties with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, forged through mutual respect for legal expertise, positioned him as a trusted ally. On December 31, 1997, Tarar was elected as Pakistan's 9th president, 11th in full sequence, by the Electoral College, securing an overwhelming majority with 420 votes against Aftab Shaban Marani's 44 and Bashir Ahmed Siddiqui's 22. He took the oath of office on January 1, 1998, succeeding acting president Wasim Sajjad. Nominated by Sharif as a non-controversial figure, Tarar's selection was strategic. His judicial background lent credibility, while his loyalty ensured alignment with the PMLN government. However, the 1997 13th Amendment had stripped the presidency of key powers, rendering it largely ceremonial, a shift from the interventionist role under previous incumbents. Presidency ceremonial duties amid political upheaval. Tarar's term unfolded against a backdrop of economic reforms, regional tensions, and internal power dynamics. As a figurehead, he focused on diplomatic engagements, promoting Pakistan's image abroad through state visits and advocating for Islamic unity. Domestically, he supported Sharif's initiatives on infrastructure and poverty alleviation, while maintaining a low-profile stance on contentious issues like the 1998 nuclear tests, which bolstered national security amid Indo-Pakistani rivalries. The presidency's calm was shattered on October 12, 1999, when General Parvez Musharraf staged a bloodless coup, overthrowing Sharif's government following the Kargil conflict. Tarar, initially retained as a civilian facade to legitimize the regime, continued in office under Musharraf's martial law. However, as Musharraf consolidated power, tensions arose. On June 20, 2001, Tarar was compelled to resign, paving the way for Musharraf to assume the presidency himself. This marked the end of Tarar's term, underscoring the military's dominance over civilian institutions. Later years and death. Post-presidency, Tarar retreated from public life, residing in Lahore and focusing on family and charitable endeavors. He remained affiliated with the PMLN informally, but avoided active politics, occasionally offering commentary on constitutional matters. Married with 4 children, 2 sons and 2 daughters, Tarar led a life of quiet reflection, emphasizing his faith and community service. Muhammad Rafiq Tarar passed away on March 7, 2022, at the age of 92 in Lahore due to age-related ailments. His funeral was attended by dignitaries, including military and political leaders, and he was buried in his ancestral village. Tributes highlighted his judicial legacy and dignified presidency. Legacy: a jurist in the shadow of power. Tarar's legacy is one of steadfast professionalism amid political volatility. Celebrated for his unblemished judicial record and role in upholding legal standards, he is often critiqued for his passive stance during the 1999 coup, which some view as enabling military overreach. Nonetheless, as Pakistan's first president from a non-political background in decades, he exemplified the potential for merit-based leadership. In a nation grappling with democratic consolidation, Tarar remains a reminder of the enduring interplay between law, politics, and power.
The life and legacy of General Pervez Musharraf, Pakistan's 12th president. In the high-stakes drama of Pakistan's political evolution, General Pervez Musharraf emerges as a complex and contentious protagonist, a self-styled reformer who seized power through military might, navigated global alliances amid the war on terror, and ultimately faced exile and legal reckoning. As the 12th president of Pakistan, Musharraf held office from June 20, 2001 to August 18, 2008, a tenure of over 7 years characterized by economic liberalization, counter-terrorism partnerships, and authoritarian measures that deepened military influence over civilian institutions. Born into a modest family amid the chaos of partition, Musharraf's biography is a saga of ambition, strategic acumen, and polarizing decisions, culminating in his death in 2023 after years of health struggles and judicial battles. His rule, often dubbed a period of enlightened moderation, left Pakistan with a mixed inheritance: economic growth shadowed by democratic erosion and rising extremism. Early life and family roots. Pervez Musharraf was born on August 11, 1943, in Daryaganj, a neighborhood in Old Delhi, British India, into a middle-class Urdu-speaking family. His father, Syed Musharrafuddin, was a civil servant in the foreign ministry, while his mother, Zareen Musharraf, held a master's degree in English literature and later worked for the International Labor Organization. The family, which included 2 brothers, one a doctor in the US and the other a retired Pakistani Navy officer, faced the upheavals of partition in 1947, migrating by train to the newly formed Pakistan and settling in Karachi. Musharraf's early years were marked by frequent relocations due to his father's diplomatic postings, including a 7-year stint in Ankara, Turkey from 1949 to 1956, where he learned Turkish and developed a fondness for Western music and culture. These experiences instilled in him a cosmopolitan outlook, blending traditional Islamic values with a pragmatic worldview shaped by exposure to diverse societies. Education and formative influences. Musharraf's education began at St. Patrick's High School in Karachi, where he excelled academically and in sports, particularly cricket and table tennis. He later attended Forman Christian College in Lahore, earning a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics in 1961.
Opting for a military path over civil service, he entered the Pakistan Military Academy at Kakul that same year, graduating in 1964 as part of the 29th PMA Long Course. Musharraf furthered his training at the Command and Staff College in Quetta and the National Defense University in Islamabad, and he studied abroad at the Royal College of Defense Studies in London from 1990 to 1991. These institutions honed his strategic thinking and leadership skills, emphasizing discipline and tactical expertise that would define his career. His time in Turkey and exposure to Ataturk's secular reforms influenced his later advocacy for moderate Islam. Military career, from battlefield to command. Commissioned into the Pakistan Army's Artillery Regiment in 1964, Musharraf's military journey was forged in conflict. He fought valiantly in the 1965 Indo-Pakistani War over Kashmir, earning the Imtiazi Sanad for gallantry as a young artillery officer. In the 1971 war, which led to Bangladesh's independence, he served as a company commander in the Special Services Group Commando Unit, participating in covert operations and receiving the Tamga-e-Basalat Medal. Rising through the ranks, he commanded artillery brigades, infantry divisions, and strike corps, and held instructional roles at the Staff College in Quetta and the National Defense University in Islamabad. Promoted to Major General in 1991 and Lieutenant General in 1995, Musharraf's career peaked when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif appointed him Chief of Army Staff, COAS, on October 6, 1998, bypassing senior officers. As COAS, he played a central role in the 1999 Kargil conflict, infiltrating Pakistani forces into Indian-held Kashmir, a bold but ultimately disastrous move that strained civil-military relations and set the stage for his coup.
Rise to power, the 1999 coup. Tensions with Sharif escalated post-Kargil as the Prime Minister blamed Musharraf for the incursion's failure. On October 12, 1999, while Musharraf was returning from a visit to Sri Lanka, Sharif attempted to dismiss him and appoint a loyalist as COAS. The army intervened, diverting Musharraf's plane and arresting Sharif in a bloodless coup. Musharraf assumed the title of Chief Executive, suspended the constitution, dissolved parliament, and formed a National Security Council to govern. He justified the takeover as necessary to combat corruption and economic malaise, promising a return to democracy. In June 2001, he appointed himself president after forcing out Rafiq Tarar, solidifying his dual role as head of state and army chief. Presidency. Reforms, alliances, and challenges. Musharraf's presidency was an era of hybrid authoritarianism, blending military control with selective reforms. He reinstated an amended constitution in 2002 via the Legal Framework Order, extending his term and empowering the presidency. A controversial referendum that year claimed 97% approval for his rule, though it was widely criticized as rigged. Economically, his technocratic government liberalized trade, privatized state enterprises, and attracted foreign investment, achieving annual GDP growth of 7% and reducing poverty through remittances and aid. Infrastructure boomed with projects like highways and ports, and media liberalization led to a proliferation of private TV channels. Internationally, post-9/11, Musharraf pivoted Pakistan as a U.S. ally in the War on Terror, providing logistical support for the invasion of Afghanistan and capturing al-Qaeda operatives. This earned billions in aid but alienated domestic Islamists, triggering assassination attempts in 2003. He pursued peace with India, holding summits in 2001 and 2004 and nearly resolving Kashmir through back-channel diplomacy. Domestically, his enlightened moderation agenda promoted women's rights, madrasa reforms, and cultural liberalization, but faced backlash from religious parties. Challenges mounted. The 2005 Kashmir earthquake killed over 73,000, exposing governance gaps. In 2007, he suspended Chief Justice Iftikhar Chaudhry, sparking the lawyers' movement and nationwide protests. A July siege of Islamabad's Red Mosque ignited the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan insurgency. Declaring emergency rule in November 2007 amid judicial threats, he purged the judiciary and media, but relented under pressure, resigning as COAS and lifting the emergency. Controversies and downfall. Musharraf's rule was rife with accusations of human rights abuses, including extrajudicial killings, disappearances, and the controversial National Reconciliation Ordinance pardoning corrupt politicians. His handling of Benazir Bhutto's 2007 return and assassination drew scrutiny, with UN reports implicating intelligence lapses. The 2008 elections routed his allies, leading to an opposition coalition under Asif Ali Zardari and Nawaz Sharif. Facing impeachment, Musharraf resigned on August 18, 2008 in a televised address defending his legacy. Post-presidency, exile, trials, and political attempts. Musharraf, exiled to London and Dubai, founded the All-Pakistan Muslim League in 2010. Returning in March 2013 for elections, he was barred from contesting and arrested on treason charges related to the 2007 emergency. In 2014, he faced additional accusations over Bhutto's murder and the 2006 killing of Baloch leader Akbar Bukti. Allowed to leave for medical treatment in 2016, he remained abroad. A special court sentenced him to death in absentia in 2019 for high treason, but the verdict was overturned in 2020 as unconstitutional. His party faltered in elections, and he largely withdrew from politics. Death and enduring legacy. Diagnosed with amyloidosis in 2018, Musharraf's health deteriorated, leading to hospitalization in Dubai. He passed away on February 5, 2023 at age 79 from multiple organ failure. His body was repatriated to Karachi for burial amid a subdued state funeral, reflecting his divisive status. Married to Sebha Musharraf since 1968, he had 2 children, a son, Bilal, and a daughter, Ayla. Musharraf's legacy remains polarized. Proponents credit him with economic stability, media freedom, and counter-terrorism efforts that integrated Pakistan globally. Critics decry his entrenchment of military dominance, erosion of democracy, and policies that fueled extremism and inequality. As Pakistan's last overt military dictator, he institutionalized the deep state, influencing civil-military imbalances that persist today. The life and legacy of Mohammad Mian Sumro, Pakistan's 13th acting president. In the intricate mosaic of Pakistan's political transitions, Mohammad Mian Sumro stands as a figure of quiet competence and institutional stewardship, a seasoned banker and politician who bridged pivotal moments of change. Recognized as the 13th head of state in enumerations that include acting presidents, Sumro served as acting president from August 18, 2008 to September 9, 2008. A brief but crucial period of just over 3 weeks following the resignation of General Pervez Musharraf. As chairman of the Senate, he automatically assumed the role under constitutional provisions, ensuring continuity amid political upheaval and facilitating the election of Asif Ali Zardari. Sumro's biography reflects a journey from international banking to high-level public service, marked by professionalism, familial political heritage, and contributions to financial and educational institutions. Early life and influential heritage. Mohammad Mian Sumro was born on August 19, 1950 in Karachi, Pakistan, into a prominent Sindhi feudal family with deep roots in the region's political landscape. His lineage traces connections to the historic Sumra dynasty, a medieval ruling family of Sindh. Sumro grew up in an environment shaped by public service. His father, the late Ahmed Mian Sumro, was a respected parliamentarian who served as Deputy Speaker of the West Pakistan Assembly and a member of the Senate, playing a key role in establishing the Senate's committee system. His grandfather, Khan Bahadur Haji Maula Bux Sumro, was also a notable political figure. This influential background, active in national politics since 1923, instilled in Sumro a sense of duty and leadership, blending tribal traditions with modern governance aspirations. Education, a foundation in science and management. Sumro's academic pursuits emphasized analytical rigor and professional expertise. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree from Forman Christian College in Lahore, followed by a Master of Science in Physics from the University of the Punjab. Seeking advanced skills for a global career, he pursued a Master of Science in Operations Management from Northrop University in the United States. This blend of scientific training and managerial acumen equipped him for a distinguished path in banking and administration, reflecting his methodical approach to complex challenges. Banking career, international recognition and innovations. Before entering public office, Sumro built an illustrious career as a professional banker, earning international acclaim for his leadership in financial institutions. He held senior positions at major banks, including Bank of America, where he served as general manager, chief executive officer of the International Bank of Yemen, and roles at Faisal Islamic Bank of Bahrain, Muslim Commercial Bank, Zarai Tarakiyati Bank, or formerly Agriculture Development Bank of Pakistan, Federal Bank of Cooperatives, and as president of the National Bank of Pakistan. His tenure was marked by significant achievements, including pioneering the establishment of microcredit banking in Pakistan, a transformative initiative for financial inclusion in rural and underserved communities. Sumro also served on the board of directors of Shell Pakistan Limited, further solidifying his expertise in corporate governance and economic strategy.
Entry into public service, governorship, and Senate leadership. Sumro's transition to politics began with his appointment as governor of Sindh on May 25, 2000 by President Pervez Musharraf, serving until December 26, 2002. In this role, he focused on administrative discipline and provincial development during a period of military-backed governance. Elected to the Senate in 2003, he rose to become chairman of the Senate, a position he held from March 12, 2003 to March 11, 2009. As Senate chairman, Sumro presided over legislative proceedings with impartiality, navigating the complexities of Pakistan's upper house during turbulent times. His most prominent interim role came as caretaker prime minister from November 16, 2007 to March 25, 2008, appointed to oversee fair general elections following the dissolution of assemblies under emergency rule. Though aligned with the pro-Musharraf Pakistan Muslim League Q, his administration aimed to maintain neutrality amid opposition criticisms. Acting presidency, a constitutional bridge. Upon General Pervez Musharraf's resignation on August 18, 2008, amid impeachment threats and political pressure, Sumro, as Senate chairman, automatically became acting president under Article 49 of the Constitution. His short tenure, ending on September 9, 2008, with the swearing-in of Asif Ali Zardari, was characterized by steadfast adherence to protocol. Sumro ensured a smooth electoral process for the new president, upholding institutional stability during a critical democratic transition and averting potential constitutional crises. Later contributions and philanthropy. After stepping down from the Senate in 2009, Sumro continued to contribute to national development. He served as Federal Minister for Privatization from 2018 to 2022 under Prime Minister Imran Khan, overseeing efforts to restructure state-owned enterprises. He also briefly held the aviation portfolio. In the realm of education, Sumro has been a trustee of the ILM Trust and a member of the Board of Governors at the University of Management and Technology, UMT, in Lahore, supporting advancements in higher education and research.
Legacy. A steward of stability. Mohammed Mian Sumro's legacy is one of professional excellence and constitutional fidelity. From pioneering microfinance to guiding Pakistan through key transitional roles, including caretaker prime minister and acting president, Sumro exemplified quiet, effective leadership in a nation often marked by dramatic shifts. His career bridges the worlds of finance, governance, and education, leaving a mark of integrity and pragmatism on Pakistan's institutional framework. In an era of political volatility, Sumro remains a symbol of the stabilizing power of experienced, nonpartisan service.
The life and legacy of Mamnoon Hussain, Pakistan's 12th president. In the often tumultuous chronicles of Pakistani politics, Mamnoon Hussain emerges as a figure of steadfast loyalty and understated leadership, a textile magnate turned statesman whose presidency symbolized a return to civilian stability after years of military influence. As the 12th president of Pakistan, Hussain served from September 9, 2013 to September 9, 2018, a full 5-year term that made him one of the few presidents to complete his tenure without interruption. Born in pre-partition India and shaped by the migration to a nascent Pakistan, Hussain's biography is a narrative of entrepreneurial success, political resilience, and a commitment to public service, culminating in his quiet yet pivotal role in the nation's governance. Though his presidency was largely ceremonial, it bridged a period of economic reforms and democratic consolidation, leaving a legacy of non-controversial stewardship amid Pakistan's factional divides. Early life and migration to Pakistan. Mamnoon Hussain was born on December 23, 1940 in Agra, United Provinces, now Uttar Pradesh, British India, into a family with roots in the ancestral trade of leather and footwear. His father, Ustad Zafar Hussain, was a respected artisan, and the family embodied the cultural and entrepreneurial spirit of the Muhajir community, Muslims who migrated from India post-partition. In 1949, 2 years after Pakistan's independence, the Hussain family relocated to Karachi, the bustling commercial hub of the new nation, seeking opportunities amid the challenges of nation-building. This migration profoundly influenced young Mamnoon, instilling values of adaptability and perseverance in a rapidly evolving society. Initially homeschooled, Hussain later pursued formal education in Karachi, where he developed a keen interest in commerce and economics, fields that would define his early career. Education and entrepreneurial beginnings. Hussain's academic journey reflected his pragmatic outlook. He earned a Bachelor of Science in Commerce from the University of Karachi in 1963, followed by a Master of Business Administration, MBA, from the prestigious Institute of Business Administration, IBA, in Karachi in 1965. This elite education equipped him with the skills to navigate Pakistan's burgeoning economy. Upon graduation, Hussain joined his family's business, honing his entrepreneurial talents before venturing out to establish his own textile company in Karachi. His firm grew into a successful enterprise, specializing in exports and contributing to Sindh's industrial landscape. From 1997 to 1999, he served as president of the Karachi Chamber of Commerce and Industry, advocating for business reforms and economic growth. This phase of his life underscored his reputation as a shrewd businessman, blending traditional family trades with modern commercial strategies. Political career, loyalty, and turbulence. Hussain's foray into politics began in the late 1960s, sparked by national events like the 1968 student protests against military rule. He joined the Pakistan Muslim League in 1970 as a grassroots worker, rising to become joint secretary of its Karachi chapter. By 1993, he aligned with the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, serving as finance secretary for the Sindh chapter and acting as provincial president during a period of political upheaval. His political ascent accelerated in the late 1990s. From 1997 to 1998, he advised Sindh Chief Minister Liaquat Ali Jatoi on financial matters. In June 1999, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif appointed him Governor of Sindh, a brief tenure that ended abruptly in October 1999, following General Pervez Musharraf's military coup, which ousted the PMLN government. Hussein's loyalty to Sharif led to his imprisonment as a political detainee, highlighting his principled stand against authoritarianism. Undeterred, Hussein contested the 2002 general elections from Karachi's NA 250 constituency, but lost to Abdul Sattar Afghani of the Muttahida Majlis-e-Amal, garnering 5,565 votes. He remained a senior vice president of PMLN, focusing on party organization in Sindh while managing his business interests. Presidency, a term of stability and restraint. In July 2013, with PMLN returning to power under Nawaz Sharif, Hussein was nominated as the party's presidential candidate, a non-controversial choice from Sindh to promote inter-provincial harmony. In the indirect election on July 30, 2013, he secured 432 votes from the Electoral College, comprising federal and provincial lawmakers, defeating Justice Retired Wajihuddin Ahmed's 77 votes. Sworn in on September 9, 2013 by Chief Justice Iftikhar Muhammad Chowdhury at Iwan-e-Sadr, Hussein became the 12th president at 73, the second oldest to assume the office, and the second from a Muhajir background. His presidency unfolded during a time of democratic transition, with the role largely ceremonial following the 18th Amendment, which shifted powers to the Prime Minister. Hussein maintained a low-profile approach, avoiding political entanglements and focusing on constitutional duties. He served under 4 prime ministers: Nawaz Sharif 2013 to 2017, Shahid Khaqan Abbasi 2017 to 2018, caretaker Nasirul Mulk 2018, and briefly Imran Khan 2018. Key contributions included advocating for polio eradication, supporting economic policies, and fostering diplomatic ties. In a rare public critique in 2017, Hussein expressed concerns over the PMLN government's borrowing of PKR 14,800 billion without commensurate investments in education and healthcare. Nonetheless, his term was marked by stability, ending on September 9, 2018, when he handed over to Arif Alvi of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. Later life, health struggles, and death. Post-presidency, Hussein retreated from active politics, residing in Karachi and focusing on family and business. In February 2020, he was diagnosed with cancer, undergoing treatment amid the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. His health declined steadily, leading to hospitalization in Karachi. Mamnoon Hussein passed away on July 14, 2021 at the age of 80 due to complications from cancer. He was survived by his wife and 3 sons. His tributes elicited from across the political spectrum, with leaders praising his humility and dedication to democratic norms. Funeral prayers were held in Karachi, attended by dignitaries, and he was laid to rest in his hometown. Legacy, a symbol of quiet patriotism. Mamnoon Hussein's legacy endures as that of a nationalist conservative who prioritized institutional integrity over personal aggrandizement. As a Muhajir president from Sindh, he represented ethnic diversity in Pakistan's leadership. Critics noted his limited public engagement, but admirers laud his role in stabilizing democracy during a transitional era. In a nation often defined by charismatic figures and power struggles, Hussein exemplified the virtues of restraint and loyalty, contributing to the fabric of Pakistan's evolving republic. The life and legacy of Dr. Arif-ur-Rahman Alvi, Pakistan's 13th president. In the dynamic arena of Pakistani politics, Dr. Arif-ur-Rahman Alvi stands as a testament to the fusion of professional expertise and ideological fervor, a dentist turned statesman who championed digital innovation while navigating the turbulent waters of national governance. As the 13th president of Pakistan, Alvi served from September 9, 2018 to March 10, 2024, becoming only the third president in the nation's history whose family migrated from India after partition. A founding member of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI) and a close ally of Imran Khan, Alvi's biography is a narrative of resilience, from student activism and medical achievements to a presidency marked by technological advocacy, constitutional controversies, and unwavering party loyalty. Though his term ended amid political strife, Alvi's emphasis on artificial intelligence and public health initiatives left an enduring imprint on Pakistan's evolving landscape. Early life and family roots. Born on July 29, 1949 in Lucknow, United Provinces of British India, now Uttar Pradesh, India, Arif Alvi grew up in a family steeped in professional and political traditions. His father, Habib-ur-Rahman Elahi Alvi, was a prominent dentist who once treated India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, and later migrated to Pakistan in the aftermath of the 1947 partition. Settling in Karachi, Habib established a dental clinic in Sadar town and became affiliated with the Jamaat-e-Islami party, influencing young Arif's early exposure to political ideology. This migration shaped Alvi's worldview, fostering a deep appreciation for Pakistan's foundational struggles. His early schooling in Karachi was interrupted when he was expelled from Karachi Grammar School due to his father's campaign against compulsory catechism classes, highlighting the family's commitment to religious principles. Education, from Karachi to global horizons. Alvi's educational path began in Karachi, where he completed his early studies before relocating to Lahore in 1967 to pursue dentistry. He earned his Bachelor of Dental Surgery (BDS) from De Montmorency College of Dentistry in 1970, laying the foundation for a distinguished medical career. Seeking advanced specialization, Alvi traveled abroad, obtaining a Master of Science in Prosthodontics from the University of Michigan in 1975 and another Master of Science in Orthodontics from the University of the Pacific San Francisco in 1984. These international experiences not only honed his clinical skills, but also broadened his perspective on healthcare and innovation. Upon returning to Pakistan, he founded Alvi Dental Hospital in Karachi, which became a cornerstone of his professional life. Professional career, a leader in dentistry. Before fully immersing himself in politics, Alvi built a stellar reputation in the dental field. He chaired major international conferences, including the Pakistan International Dental Conference in 1981 and the Third Pakistan International Dental Conference in 1987, later serving as patron for the 5th edition. His leadership extended to global platforms. He was elected president of the Asia-Pacific Dental Federation in 2006 and served as a counselor for the FDI World Dental Federation in 2007. Alvi drafted the constitution for the Pakistan Dental Association, becoming its president, and was appointed Dean of the Faculty of Orthodontics at the College of Physicians and Surgeons, Pakistan. In 1997, he achieved diplomat status from the American Board of Orthodontics, a rare honor for Pakistani professionals. These accomplishments underscored his dedication to advancing dental education and practice in Pakistan and beyond.
Political journey, from activism to PTI stalwart. Alvi's political awakening came early, fueled by the 1968 student protests against General Ayub Khan's regime. As a young activist, he participated in a 1969 demonstration in Lahore, where he was shot twice, leaving a bullet lodged in his body as a lifelong reminder of his commitment to change. In 1979, he joined Jamaat-e-Islami Pakistan as a polling agent and ran unsuccessfully for a provincial assembly seat in Karachi that year. He served as president of the Islami Jamiyat-e-Talaba Student Union, but grew disillusioned with the party's focus, quitting in 1988.
Inspired by Imran Khan's vision, Alvi co-founded the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI, in 1996, contributing to its constitution and serving as president of the Sindh chapter from 1997. Despite electoral setbacks in the 1997 and 2002 provincial assembly elections, he persisted, becoming PTI's vice president in 2001 and secretary general from 2006 to 2013. His breakthrough came in the 2013 general elections when he won a National Assembly seat from NA 250, Karachi 12, with 77,659 votes, the only PTI victory in Sindh. Re-elected in 2018 from NA 247, Karachi South 2, with 91,020 votes, Alvi played key roles in PTI's protests, including the 2014 Azadi March, though he faced legal charges for inciting violence. He briefly resumed as PTI Sindh president in 2016, solidifying his status as a party pillar. Presidency: Innovation amid controversy. Nominated by PTI on August 18, 2018, Alvi won the presidential election on September 4th, securing 352 electoral votes against Fazlur Rahman's 184 and Etizaz Ahsan's 124. Sworn in on September 9, 2018 at Aiwan-e-Sadr, he addressed a joint parliamentary session on September 17, emphasizing national unity. His term extended beyond September 8, 2023 due to delays in forming an electoral college, ended on March 10, 2024 with a farewell guard of honor. A hallmark of Alvi's presidency was the launch of the Presidential Initiative for Artificial Intelligence and Computing, PAIIC, in December 2018, aimed at positioning Pakistan in the global tech arena through education in AI, blockchain, and cloud computing. He advocated for digital governance, polio eradication, and public health while fostering diplomatic ties. However, his tenure was fraught with controversies. In April 2022, he dissolved the National Assembly on Imran Khan's advice to block a no-confidence motion, a move ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, leading to Khan's ouster. Alvi faced criticism for perceived PTI bias, including withholding assent to bills like the Official Secrets Amendment in August 2023 and delaying the post-2024 election National Assembly session. These actions drew accusations of partisanship, straining relations with subsequent governments. Personal life and interests. Married to Samina Alvi, a dedicated social activist, the couple has 4 children, all married. Residing in Karachi, Alvi is an avid reader with interests in quantum physics, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, AI, blockchain, and cloud computing. Influenced by thinkers like Plato, Karl Marx, Abul Ala Maududi, and Thomas Piketty, he maintains a low-key personal profile, focusing on intellectual pursuits and family. Legacy: a bridge between tradition and modernity. Dr. Arif Alvi's legacy is a blend of innovation and contention. Praised for his tech-forward initiatives and as a symbol of PTI's rise, he is critiqued for actions perceived as undermining constitutional norms. As Pakistan's first president with a dental background, he bridged professional expertise with political ambition, advocating for a digitally empowered future. In a nation grappling with democratic challenges, Alvi remains a polarizing yet influential chapter in its history, embodying the enduring spirit of resilience and reform. The life and legacy of Asif Ali Zardari, Pakistan's 11th and 14th president. Asif Ali Zardari, a resilient and enigmatic figure in Pakistani politics, has twice ascended to the nation's highest office, serving as the 11th president from September 9, 2008 to September 8, 2013, and as the 14th president since March 10, 2024, ongoing as of December 2025. His non-consecutive terms mark him as the only Pakistani leader to be elected president twice, navigating coalition dynamics in a fractured political landscape. Known for his political acumen, endurance through adversity, and role in strengthening parliamentary democracy, Zardari's biography intertwines personal tragedy, allegations of corruption, and a steadfast commitment to the Pakistan People's Party, PPP, a legacy forged in the shadow of his late wife, Benazir Bhutto. Early life and family heritage. Born on July 26, 1955 in Karachi, Sindh province, into a prominent Baloch Sindhi landowning family, Asif Ali Zardari grew up amid privilege and political influence. His father, Hakim Ali Zardari, was a successful businessman, tribal chief of the Zardari tribe, and politician, while his mother, Belkis Sultana Zardari, provided a nurturing environment. Educated at St. Patrick's School in Karachi, Karachi Grammar School, Cadet College Pataro, where he completed intermediate studies, and later pursuing business studies in London, Zardari initially showed little interest in politics, focusing instead on family enterprises and polo, a passion that earned him a place on Pakistan's national team. His life transformed dramatically in 1987 with his arranged marriage to Benazir Bhutto, daughter of former Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and rising political star. The union thrust Zardari into the spotlight, blending his feudal roots with the Bhutto dynasty's populist legacy. Political rise and challenges. Zardari's formal political career began in the late 1980s alongside Bhutto's premierships 1988 to 1990 and 1993 to 1996. Elected to the National Assembly in 1990 and 1993, he served as Federal Minister for Environment 1993 to 1996 and Investment 1995 to 1996, and as a Senator 1997 to 1999. However, his ascent was marred by controversy. During Bhutto's governments, he faced allegations of corruption, earning the moniker Mr. 10% for purported kickbacks on contracts, charges he consistently denied as politically motivated. After Bhutto's 1996 dismissal, Zardari endured prolonged imprisonment from 1997 to 2004 on charges including corruption and murder related to Benazir's brother Murtaza Bhutto's death. Released on bail amid health concerns, he spent time abroad. Tragedy struck again in December 2007 when Benazir Bhutto was assassinated during an election campaign rally. Zardari emerged as co-chairman of the PPP alongside his son Bilawal, capitalizing on a sympathy wave to lead the party to victory in the 2008 elections. First Presidency, 2008 to 2013, Reconciliation and Reform. Elected president on September 6, 2008 with overwhelming support, Zardari's first term was a landmark in democratic consolidation. He became the first president to complete a full 5-year term, a rarity in Pakistan's history of military interventions. Key achievements included spearheading the unanimous 18th Constitutional Amendment in 2010, which devolved powers to provinces, renamed the Northwest Frontier Province as Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, strengthened parliamentary authority, and rendered the presidency largely ceremonial by transferring executive powers to the Prime Minister. His administration navigated challenges like the 2010 floods, militancy, and energy crises, while implementing policies for media freedom, telecommunications growth, and workers' shares in state enterprises. Zardari also relinquished control over Pakistan's nuclear arsenal to civilian oversight.
Internationally, he fostered reconciliation with rivals and managed U.S. relations amid the war on terror. Despite low approval ratings and persistent corruption probes, many dropped under a 2007 amnesty later invalidated. His term ended peacefully in 2013.
Intervening years and return to power. Post-presidency, Zardari remained PPP co-chairman, guiding the party through electoral setbacks in 2013 and 2018. He faced renewed legal battles, including money laundering allegations, but was acquitted or bailed in several cases. The PPP's strong performance in Sindh sustained his influence. In the fragmented 2024 general elections, no party secured a majority. Through astute coalition building with the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz (PMLN), Zardari secured the presidency again on March 9, 2024, defeating Mahmud Khan Achakzai with 411 electoral votes. Sworn in on March 10, 2024, as the 14th president, he became the first civilian to hold the office twice. Second presidency, 2024-present, continuity and diplomacy. Zardari's ongoing second term emphasizes stability in a coalition government led by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Highlights include signing the Christian Marriage Amendment Act, raising marriage age to 18, reaffirming commitments against drug abuse, and strengthening ties with China through a February 2025 state visit, reiterating support for the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. He has condemned international conflicts, conferred honors like the Nishan-e-Imtiaz, and navigated health issues, including a 2025 COVID-19 hospitalization. As a ceremonial head, Zardari focuses on unity, provincial harmony, and foreign policy. Personal life and legacy. Widowed since 2007, Zardari has 3 children: son Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, former foreign minister and PPP chairman, and daughters Bakhtaur and Asifa Bhutto Zardari, the latter serving as first lady. His family perpetuates the Bhutto Zardari political dynasty. Zardari's legacy is profoundly dual. Hailed for democratic reforms, completing a full term, and coalition mastery, yet critiqued for past corruption allegations, largely unproven in court, and perceptions of opportunism. As Pakistan's only twice elected president, he embodies resilience, the artful dodger who has weathered imprisonments, exile, and tragedy to remain a pivotal force in the nation's quest for stable governance.
As this chapter of Pakistan's presidential history draws to a close, one truth stands unmistakably clear. Power has never rested in an office alone, but in how it is used or misused by those who hold it. From constitutional hope to authoritarian control, and from military dominance to democratic renewal, the presidency has mirrored Pakistan's ongoing quest for stability, justice, and representative governance. The lessons of this journey are not confined to the past. They continue to echo in the present, reminding us that democracy is not a destination, but a constant struggle. The story of Pakistan's presidents is, ultimately, the story of a nation still defining its future.